We are less than 2 days away from Michigan, Penn State, and these Penn State fans are being as annoying as Jerry Sandusky was in the shower. So we need to tell them where they are. They're at the Michigan Football Report. You are a Michigan football fan, and you're a Penn State fan. Get the hell out of here. We don't want you. So go ahead and type Go Blue in the comments. It's going to do two things. It's going to make the Penn State fans know they're unwelcome, and it's going to ensure a Michigan win. I have been told from sources inside of the universe, the Schembechler Hall of Karma, inside Karma, and they all say, hey, let's get the Go Blues going. So just type it in there. I'm sick of these Penn State fans typing their stuff in there. Oh, we won last year, blah, blah, blah. Type Go Blue in the comments. We are going to talk Michigan football injuries. We're going to talk a little bit about the play calling and some wrinkles you might see on offense coming up on Saturday, and then some NFL draft talk with one of Michigan's star players on defense. That's all coming up here in the Michigan Football Report from Chat Sports right now. Never before in my life as a Michigan fan that I can remember does a team have more injury question marks than Michigan does have coming into this game Saturday noon at Penn State. You had two players, Erick and Donovan Edwards, miss the game against Indiana, and then 6-7 guys leave with injury, either going into the locker room, going into the injury tent, didn't return to play. Quite a few of them. So I've got quite a few updates for you. Then we'll talk some more Michigan football strategy for this Penn State matchup. My top story of the day. Got updates on three players. Starting tight end Erick, backup running back, freshman, borderline 5-star Donovan Edwards, and Andrel Anthony, who broke out a couple weeks ago against Michigan State. Only had one catch against Indiana and then got hurt in the third quarter. All of those players are expected to play. They have been they've been practicing and near full go this entire week. And so here on Thursday afternoon, expect them to play Saturday. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be playing every down. Certainly, I don't expect Donovan Edwards to start. Andrel Anthony is in the rotation with 5 or 6 other wide receivers. But what we saw from him in the Michigan State game and in limited action against Indiana, I think he should be in the starting lineup. But Michigan may limit some of the snap counts to not re-injure some of these guys who are 90%, 85% in this game against Penn State. But if they need him, I think they should play him because you got Maryland next week and you've got a little bit of time to heal up if it's nothing serious. But in Erick All's absence last week, you get a breakout performance from this man right here, Luke Schoonmaker, 3 catches, 21 yards, so not lighting up the scoreboard or putting up huge stats, but those 2 touchdowns in the red zone from Cade McNamara were key in last week's games. Both of them, on plays that Michigan hasn't really run a ton under Josh Gattis. One of them being a very well-designed play-action pass going left, fake play-action left, and then the QB waggle where he rolled all the way out and had multiple receiving options, Schoonmaker being the best option of those players near the goal line, hit him in for the end zone, and that was that. So if all isn't good to go, if he's only 85% and you have to get Schoonmaker in there, he has at least proven whether or not he's a guy who can stretch the field, that he is a reliable player where it counts, where it's absolutely necessary for this team, which is the red zone. All right, next up is Blake Corum. Game time decision. 2 things on this. One confirmed, one TBD, right? Confirmed that he has been limited in practice all week, and I expect a decision to be made probably tomorrow morning, on Friday morning, 24 hours or so before the game. But I don't think anyone is really going to know definitively until you see him go out there on the field Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning in for warm-ups in this game against Penn State. So TBD, I think it's 50-50 on Blake Corum. If I had to really put money on it, if I had to really guess, if they truly feel that Donovan Edwards is good to go, I would guess Corum suits up, but probably doesn't see the field. And if he does, it's in a much more limited role than you've typically seen him in the past, being one of the stars of this number 6 ranked Michigan football team. All right, number 3, Gemon Green is unlikely to play. I put him at 10% likely to play. It's hasn't really practiced, hasn't been in any of the defensive strategy all week so far. Now, it's Thursday. They don't really, this is the end of the practice here today. So if any news comes out, information comes out Thursday afternoon, maybe he could change things. But as of now, with as limited as he's been all week, I doubt that he will play. Now, what are you listening for him? He started out as at the beginning of the year, he was a starting cornerback in there with a rotation with Vincent Gray, with Daxton Hill sometimes. With the emergence of DJ Turner has limited Gemon Green's role. He is no longer a starter. 23 tackles, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. Hasn't lit up the scoreboard. frankly, no knock on him, but we saw how much of a liability he was in pass coverage last year, and I think it's a testament of his performance that he got passed up mid-season and is no longer a starter. So I don't think Michigan's going to make or break if he plays in this game, but if what the whispers out there on him are true, that he may have been injured, that's going to keep him out multiple weeks, including the Ohio State game 2 weeks from Saturday, I do think that's a challenge because they have 4, 5, sometimes even 6 wide receivers, not at one time, but that get in snaps, get plays, can make plays downfield, not to mention the multiple running backs they have, multiple tight ends they have, and Michigan needs every single capable player with experience. So shouldn't hurt him this week too much. I'm not saying that Michigan's going to win without him or anything like that, but Ohio State has a much more vaunted passing game than Penn State does. So we'll see what happens with Gemon Green. But I want you guys to predict the score. Michigan is number 6. In your face, Michigan State, you sons of guns. They're number 7, even though they beat Michigan less than 2 weeks ago, which is kind of funny. But nevertheless, Michigan State lost in basketball on Tuesday, and then they lost in the rankings to Michigan. But go down in the comments, predict the score of this one. Penn State's unranked in the college football playoff rankings, which is surprising, given that they've beaten 2 teams right in the top 20 or so, Auburn, Wisconsin, and they have 3 losses, the same of those teams. But let me know your score predictions down in the comments. And if you think you know what you're doing with score predictions, if you want to have a little more fun on Saturdays, Sundays, hell, Thursday night football, Monday night football, go get started with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. We've got a great deal for you. It's the 125% deposit bonus. Use that link at the bottom of the screen, chatsports.com/GoBlue. You type it into your browser, screenshot this if you want to go back to it later on your phone, and then when you make your first deposit, promo code GoBlue, deposit $100 or more, 125% deposit bonus. Quick math for you people who use calculators. You put in 100, extra 125, put in 200, extra 250, 300, extra 375, and up from there you can put in $500 to get up to that 125% deposit bonus. Promo code GoBlue, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Number 4 topic on this show today is, from what we're hearing out of practice this week, expect passing plays on 3rd and short. It's a wrinkle that Michigan's been working on for multiple weeks. You saw some of it, honestly, in Michigan State game with Cade McNamara going for 384. Michigan really efficient on 3rd down, both running and passing, but much more passing than they had been in prior games. Didn't ultimately work out right down the stretch. They struggled with it when they absolutely had to pass. But this is a team that really needs to pass the ball to show they can pass the ball when it counts, right? Counts on 3rd down, counts in the red zone. 57 of 128, 44% on 3rd down. That's okay. It's significantly behind what a team like Ohio State and some others that have really the top offenses in the country have. But the most concerning stat for me when it comes to this offense right now is this one on the screen here. Michigan is scoring touchdowns on only 56% of their red zone trips. You might say, well, 56%, that's not that bad. That's 90th in the country out of 130 teams. When you talk about percentage of times you enter into the red zone, inside the 20, outcome is a touchdown. 56% is 90th in the country. The better teams in college football are in the 70 to 80% range. So Michigan has a lot of work to do when it comes to that. So times that you're gonna see this is when Michigan's in 3rd and 3 and below, is getting this offensive game plan and the players accustomed that it's not just run Hassan Haskins, off left guard and hope for the best. It is, we're going to go out, have 3-4 guys come out of the backfield, tight ends, wide receivers, and get first downs, pass the ball, pass the change, which has been a struggle for this offense all year. And the hope is, if they're successful on that in 3rd down, let's say midfield or at the 40, that it'll pay off when it's 3rd and 3 or 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line, whatever it is, and they need those yards, and a runoff tackle isn't just going to cut it. But talking about the offense, I want to take a little straw poll from you guys. How confident are you in the play calling and the abilities of Michigan offensive coordinator Josh Gattis? Give me a ranking. 1 being Josh Gattis is a bum, get him out of there. All the way up to 10 is Gattis is my goddess, whatever you want to say. Gattis is the man, love him, etc. I'm going to go like a 4.5. Right? The offense hasn't been bad. Clearly, it's much more influenced on what Harbaugh wants to do than what Gattis had promised, but I don't feel that if you put the game in Josh Gattis' hands that you're going to be really satisfied with the outcome all the time. So I'm going with 4.5. Let me know down in the comments. Number 5, the key to the game. All right, key to this game from everything I've looked at, studied Penn State a ton this week, is getting pressure on Sean Clifford, hitting him, knocking him to the ground. at least making him step up in the pocket, run, etc. He does not do well under pressure. Take a look at these stats here. Coming up on screen, 45% completion rate this year when he is pressured or when he is hit. 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And that stat there on the right, that Pro Football Focus rating, that is his rating for the entire year, pressure or not. But I thought it was interesting to put in there because he is the 95th rated quarterback in the country so far of all quarterbacks that they ranked. And these stats are part of the reason why he's ranked so low, is that when teams get pressure on him, he is a wildly ineffective quarterback. But when they don't get pressure on him, he's very, very effective. He was very effective the last couple games in some Penn State performances that put them in a position to win. Didn't obviously win all of them, but they have done well on offense, and he is a big part of what they do. Now, Hutchinson, Ojabo, they must wreak havoc in this game. Put pressure on Clifford, you get a victory, right? Why is that? It's not because, that's just going to win the game for anything like that, but it is because of the rest of the offense that we're going to talk about here with Penn State coming up in just a moment. Aidan Hutchinson, David Ojabo have got to wreak havoc. They both have been playing great. They've got to have their best game as Wolverines in this one if they're going to get it. And it's going to be a test and kind of a prelude to the Ohio State game coming up in a couple weeks. Well, they will pass just as much as Penn State will, and it's going to come down to whether or not Michigan can rush the quarterback in that game as well. But taking a little poll from you guys, another one. I think it's an opportunity to see who else watches this show for you guys. We can look at the YouTube analytics, tell what states and what cities people are watching for, but shout out your state. Let us know what state you're watching for. See if you want to toss your city in there, that's cool too, but go down in the comments. I'm guessing, most of you like the analytics show. Good percentage will be watching the state of Michigan, but we get play from California and Ohio and New York and Florida, all over the country. So shout out your state in the comments. Let's see who is repping in this Michigan-Penn State keys to the game preview. All right, continuing on Sean Clifford, and the key to beating Penn State is if you get pressure on Clifford, and we saw what he does when he's pressured, 43% completion percentage, as many interceptions as touchdowns, that's going to shut down their offense because they have no running game. And they've got a couple top 100 recruit running backs. One of them was a 5-star, but their running game does not exist at all. And the games they've won outside of that 3-game losing streak, but even against Ohio State, they didn't run, but they had to pass a lot. The running game is an absolute disaster. So Michigan has to know that. Of course they know that. They've got to come up with something that stops Sean Clifford from throwing jump balls, getting just 2-3 seconds of time throwing jump balls to players like this guy, right? Jahan Dotson, one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in all of college football. He's certainly being projected as one of the top wide receivers in the upcoming NFL draft. The stats he's putting up so far this year are pretty dang impressive. 71 catches, 932 yards. He has more catches, like 40 more catches than like all Michigan receivers combined so far this year, as crazy as that is, right? 932 yards, 9 touchdowns, which is also double what Michigan's wide receivers have put out as an entire group for this one player. What their offense seems to come down to, and a lot of times, is they'll throw the ball 6, 7, 8 times in a row. And in that, they do what Michigan fans hoped a few years ago Josh Gattis would do with guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones and Nico Collins. Just like, okay, let's go max protect, go 2 receivers left, 1 right, and put our best 2 guys just run as far as they can and let Sean Clifford throw the ball as high as he can, see if we can outjump him. It's worked for him under James Franklin for several years, and it continues to work for him this year. If that happens, and Michigan can't get pressure on Clifford, they throw the jump ball, Penn State's going to get some big-time plays and put the ball in the end zone. Won't bode well for Michigan, given how good Penn State's defense is. All right, last one to talk about today is this has been hitting the news over the last 24, 36 hours. David Ojabo coming in as the number 10 player in Mel Kiper's latest big board. And now there's a lot of rumors that, look, people are talking to him with the season he's had, even before the Kiper thing came out, that if he is projected as a first-round draft pick, that after 3 seasons at Michigan, only 1 as a starter, look, he started 9 games so far, that he should definitely consider and, in all likelihood, would leave after this 1 season of starting and head to the NFL draft. Take a look at the top 5 players in the Big Ten in Kiper's latest big board. Notice no Ohio State players, but there is 1 Ohio State transfer, right? So these are all Big Ten players, except for Jamison Williams there in the middle. He's at Alabama now, the number 11 player in Kiper's big board. Ohio State had him for 2 years. He scored a touchdown in the playoff game against Clemson last year. Pretty decent receiver, but he is ranked higher than both of their star receivers. Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. So pretty funny to throw that one there. But Michigan, two defensive ends in the top 10 players overall. Then you've got the offensive lineman for Iowa. You have Dotson from Penn State, who Michigan will face on Saturday as well in the top 14 of KIPER'S. So those are the top 5 players in either in the Big Ten or played in the Big Ten last year, transferred away from Ohio State, and they're just despicable offensive game plan that couldn't get a talented young man like him the ball when it counted. I totally agree with that decision for him, and he made a good decision to go to Alabama where they develop players, and at Ohio State where they just have disastrous results when they turn pro. But that's the show for today. We're going to probably get a show out tomorrow as well on Friday, all leading up to Michigan at Penn State. Noon on Saturday. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at James Yoder. I'll be tweeting out all through the game highlights, little analysis, and we get any pregame news or rumors heading into kickoff. I will put that on my Twitter as well at James Yoder. I'll see you guys hopefully Friday. Till then, go Blue.